The Italian Renaissance, which spanned from late 14th century until about 1600, saw much advancement in art and culture. Theater architecture, most notably the proscenium arts, set the stage for a new level of respect for an art form that had all but disappeared during the previous period known as the Dark Ages. Renaissance literally meant rebirth, and what the Renaissance was trying to resurrect was the precepts of classical antiquity. For theater, this meant the resurrection of plays in the vein of the Greek tragic playwrights Aeschylus, Sophocles, and Euripides. Opera and ballet are art forms that came into existence during the Italian Renaissance. While this was a significant period for advancement of human culture, there was little notable advancement in the art of playwriting and performance. Most of the playwrights of the period used the ancient Greek playwrights as their model without reaching their stature. In this unit, we will look at the period which followed the Italian Renaissance in France. Following the inspiration of that period, 17th century French theater elevated the art of theater architecture, playwriting, and performance to new heights and contributed mightily to the development of theater. We will look at the significance of the reign of King Louis XIV, the Sun King, the development of the court theaters and the public theaters of the period, and the plays and playwrights of that period. It was during the 17th century that France displaced Italy as the cultural center of the Western world. The two French political figures who were most responsible for the importation of the Italian Renaissance to France were Cardinals Richelieu and Mazarin. Both of these cardinals served as Louis XIII's chief minister. As the king was very young and, in many cases, a weak leader, these men often wielded the power of a monarch. Both brought architects from Italy during the 17th century who designed and oversaw construction of some of the greatest theaters ever built. France's influence reached a peak when the son of Louis XIII, King Louis XIV, married Maria Theresa of Spain. This cemented Louis's power and brought about the Age of the Sun King. Louis continued to influence France's cultural domination throughout the Western world. He advanced the court theater and patronized the rise of some of the most influential playwrights of theater history, most notably Pierre Corneille, Jean Racine, and Molière. The most prominent court theaters in France were constructed earlier in the century under the supervision of Cardinal Richelieu, and in the mid-century they were remodeled under the supervision of Cardinal Mazarin. Louis XIV promoted artistic endeavors in these court theaters to the fullest of their potential. Under the Sun King, theater, opera, and ballet thrived. With this emphasis on arts, French playwrights pursued what has been referred to as the neoclassical ideal. Neoclassicism, or New Classicism, sought to embrace the precepts outlined in Aristotle's Poetics as the standard for all art, theater included. Plays written during 17th century France were expected to adhere to the unities of time, place, and action. The action of these plays were expected to maintain what was referred to as verisimilitude, a term that can be translated as the appearance of truth. This standard was held in the court theaters of 17th century France. The public theaters of the period were designed to appeal to the popular tastes. We will be looking more closely at these in our discussion of the physical theaters of 17th century France. We'll also consider how the playwrights of this period approached the neoclassical ideal, and how they departed from this Renaissance standard to begin the evolution of a very important American genre known as melodrama. Well, it's time to go to your task for this section. When we return, we will be looking at the court and public theaters of 17th century France.